What is happening, traders? How are we doing, guys? God bless each and every single one of you guys. Stay freaking very close to your microphones, guys, because this is going to be a beautiful update, a quick update on AMC, IWM, GameStop, and the Gme Warrants. If that's something you guys that appeals to you, right, slap the subscribe button. And let's get straight into this video, guys. So looking at AMC, seeing a big, fat, you know what it is, nothing burger on the day, a Gravestone Doji. Not the best close, to be honest with you. But what you saw was a test of right around that 245 area. Now, we shot up as soon as we stopped streaming today, which is very, very nonchalant, indicative of how this thing has been moving. But I don't care about this, right? I literally do not care about today's close. You're above this uptrend. You're still above the daily RSI band, and your volume was nothing special, right? So in all, a nothing burger of a day. You also closed above 222. Another good thing, right? So I still remain bullish, even though this is a technically bearish candlestick, right? One like that shooting star, the last Gravestone Doji you had was technically back here, right? So if that's any correlation for you guys, I don't care about today's close in the daily. What I do care about is the weekly close, and we covered this in our video, saying that this is the most important part of today. Hold where you were, and you held it to the freaking penny, guys. Closing right around 227 gave you what you needed to potentially see a breakout here. Downsloping volume, bullish inverted hammer candlestick for the second week in a row, 3 hammers in a row, which I think is hilarious. So regardless, right, even when the market is against you throughout the day, this one, liquidity wick down, this one, wick up, and then a strong close, wick up, strong close. Every single close on AMC for the weekly in the last 3 weeks has been bullish. And looking at this week, guys, particularly on the weekly, you did something absolutely massive. You closed with high volume, as well as closing with this RSI band still intact, guys. I was terrified, petrified, scared that you would cross below here, cross below the 50 line on the bottom of your screen on the RSI, and then see a dump like you saw when you dumped it in October, guys. That was literally your top here at around 318 before you capitulated. 69.99%. What a freaking number. Where you're at today is you're finding not just a break above it, which was this big move up here, but also the retest. So the throwback has officially been confirmed, and also, traders, in doing so, let's take a little peeky weeky at the weekly time frame. But before we jump into the weekly time frame, guys, you already know, if you guys are this far into the video, slap the subscribe button. It would mean a freaking ton to me, guys. I want to see that number go up today. And looking at the weekly time frame for AMC, you closed where you had to close, above the 50-day EMA, which is trading right around 217, guys. Closing above that, I mentioned in our live stream that this would give you a huge upside potential if this 9-day on the weekly continues to curve upwards. And if this thing continues to go north, you will see your first cross of the 9 and the 50 on the weekly time frame, guys, which is significantly bullish. I don't mean to just say that to get you guys excited, but that is significantly bullish, man. Looking at this last cross in January 29th of 2021, we all know the day, you saw a 277% move off of that, and a pretty big rip in total, right? Going into it, you got above it. As soon as you got above it, a 692% move to the upside. And the part that I've been stressing here is the sustained momentum, right? Getting above it and then holding above it. Every single candle closes above it here. You guys can test my math if I'm wrong. Maybe here would be close. 51.49. Close was 51.55. So no, you closed above it literally every single candle. As you saw, Gamma squeeze the hedgies, and you see that June run up as soon as the 9 crosses the 200. So that puts us in a very, very similar situation in here, guys, in which not only are you testing your previous all-time resistance here, right? Funny that you rejected that right here on the 18th of June. Whoops. Let me not fuck up that line. Let's see. Bam. Funny that you test that. But you have literally the exact same setup, right? Slow and steady grind up about 300% from the lows here, above the 50 and above the 9. And this is where things begin to spiral, right? Begin to snowball. Because if you can see this 9 cross to the 50, hopefully you can see a move that gets you above 318, guys. Getting above 318 clears this previous liquidity zone and gets you upwards of 5 friggin' schmeckles, guys. I do think as soon as you get above this $4 threshold, this wick right here, guys, this thing will move freaking crazy rapid, in my opinion, right? And of course, I'm not a financial advisor. Do not do or act on what I say, but I expect this thing to go so much higher if you can get above this wick. I just do. And you're just going to have to trust me, bro. Not really, but I just want to get that in there. I really think you're going to test this at some point within a 6-month span. In my opinion, not financial advice, of course, right? This very real opportunity that you reject here. You fail to hold the uptrend. You fail to hold the horizontal support, and you come all the way back down. Of course, it's possible. Is it likely? Not really, in my opinion. Not really. Oh, but the bears are gonna argue it, so got to take both sides, right? I love the fact that the volume is staying steadily increasing here. It just looks beautiful to me. And as you zoom out further, the monthly candle still remains bullish above the 9 on the monthly that you have not held and closed above for 2 months in a row, guys. Since you guessed it, back here, right? Boom behind or boom above it. Wick off of it, and you close above it for the foreseeable future until you lose that bull pennant and the bullish momentum. And then literally every single candle, guys, closes and wicks below it. It's no coincidence here that on the charts you're seeing Amy develop in a very impactful manner, seeing the most bullish momentum you've seen on this chart in over 5 years, guys. I remained super bullish on the stock, and how could you not? When you have the quarterly MACD in your favor, you have the volume in your favor, and you have a potential short killer. And I'm going to kind of clarify on that, what that is, right? AMC recently, and let's see if it's in the news. Might be. Annual shareholder meeting was absolutely bullish. I was so jacked to see that. On the 24th of September 2026. So basically nothing on this gives you terrible news. And I'll take it because the last couple ones have been terrible news. Primarily voting, right? They always put in their like compensation packages and stuff like that. But what else was there? There was one more thing. It might be on TradingView. Let's see. I don't see it here, so I'll just explain it. The Odyssey is crushing it. The thing that I want to talk about, guys, was AMC invited debt holders or pretty much loan officers, whatever you want to call them, to see a movie recently kind of explaining what I assume would be refinancing. So I'm excited to see if Adam Aron has that nail in the coffin for the short thesis sometime soon. I'm absolutely jacked to see what develops from that, if anything. Of course, nothing has to. But you are so close to doing something amazing here. And doing a massive debt refinancing deal to lower your interest and to lower your debt would pretty much, for me, conclude that this thing is going much, much higher, much, much sooner than people think. So that was just something I wanted to mention to you guys. Nothing urgent, of course, but we remain within this macro falling wedge, and I remain jacked that you're going to break this to the upside. So until that changes, I will let you guys know. I want to take a little peeky weeky at IWM, so stay with me, AMC traders. I promise we'll make this quick. IWM is still within that triangle structure. All right, we're done. No, not really. You rejected the 9-day EMA here, and from that rejection, you saw a low volume day, right? You came into the gap fill here and saw that rejection down what I assume is going to be a test of the 50. I remain bullish. As you can see here, every single move up is extremely bullish volume, and every move down is extremely low capitulated volume. So I remain bullish with the trend here. It should be a breakout if you can get above this 9-day EMA, currently trading at 293.67, and another all-time high somewhere along the upper echelon of this uptrend, probably like 310 if I had to guess. So that's what we're looking like on IWM. GME still within this consolidation channel after the rejection of this uptrend. All right, next. Not really. Sorry, I'm playing with you guys. GME still consolidating sideways, guys. And you saw a test, not just a test yesterday, but a test today, a little bit of a double bottom on GME's 4-hour chart. And I'd be curious to see if we take a little peeky weeky at the RSI to see if there was any bullish divergence on GME. Give me the chart. Get me out of here. Get me out of here, silly gooses. Speaking of silly geese, I do have my friend. He stays with me every single video in the back. His name is Gary. Gary the Goose. Say hi to Gary, guys, in the chat. If you made it this long, say hi to Gary. GME. Let's see. Come on, Jimmy boy. All right. Now that that's loaded, let's look at the 4-hour chart. Take a peek through all of these lines. Look at the shorter time frame. Probably the 1 hour would show it. And boom, guys, you have it. All right, so this is bullish. This is a good look for GME. You have low volume into that last hour candle. And traders, beyond that, you have technical bullish divergence on the 1 hour chart. That's when you make a lower low on the stock price, but a higher low on the RSI, guys. That is very indicative of something that's about to reverse. I'll show you a good example. I don't have this planned. I'm just looking. This is a great example, right? It wasn't the exact bottom, but it was a nice move in the stock price. Look at the RSI here, how it makes a higher low and the stock price a lower low. Even if this is not the macro bottom yet, right? This is only a 3% pump in the grander scheme of things. This was a much larger pump after you make one more touch of bullish div. But, right, from the div, whoops. Bam. From the div to the highs here, that's a 10% move. So even if you see that, traders, it's very peculiar that you're seeing that at the end of this following wedge while the volume begins to go down. I'd be curious because this is pretty much do or die for these two trend lines, this downsloping support and this also channel support. If you don't bounce here, it's likely you're coming down to this 2060 territory, in my opinion. So we're going to be watching that very closely on GameStop. That's a huge opportunity for anyone dramatically long on this stock. As always, guys, I still think it's going to do nothing, right? Until you see this eBay acquisition, this thing is trading down and to the right until that happens, right? In my opinion, right? I'm not a financial advisor. Looking at the GME Warrants, nothing but love here for my man Only in Paradise. And by the way, I read every single comment. If you guys comment a stock you want me to cover that's not the GME Warrants, I would be happy to, because this thing sucks. Not really. But GME Warrants in a little bit of a falling wedge here. And I think this is slightly bullish. Of course, there's the opportunity that this thing catches a bid with GameStop seeing a relief bounce off of that bullish divergence. So that's what I'm watching here for the shorter time frame, guys. In a falling wedge, could break to the upside. And I would be looking for two tests. A test of the 9-day EMA, currently trading at 193. Breaking above that gets you at least to 223, and this previous support flipping as new resistance. Rejecting that, guys, would be absolutely gnarly. I hope you don't do it, and I hope this move up is more sustained so that you can get a little bit of a bull or a bear trap here and swing to the upside. That is your best case scenario for the Gme Warrants. As you see, volume continue to capitulate here on the freaking stock. It looks kind of good. It looks a little good, and I'm nervous for anyone holding this, because of course there is the reality that this thing could expire worthless. But of course, do your own due diligence. I'm not a financial advisor. It's been a freaking blast today in the live streams. I hope all of you guys have the notification bell so you guys can tune into those. As always, traders, God bless each and every single one of you, and remember, the best is yet to come. Let's freaking go, guys, and peace.